Kids and friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Kimbers. It's been a while since we've talked, but I have an exciting video for you today. Today I'm going to be showing you my digital teacher planner, but this does come in a printable version as well. So I've thought of absolutely everything for this planner, and if you're not a digital planning person, like if that's just not you, that's okay. It comes in a printable version as well, which is actually the version I used my first year teaching. So this new version has a couple of tweaks, but digital planning is something that I love and I want to share it with you. I absolutely love digital planning, and here's just a few reasons why. For one, it's so quick. For two, you can edit anything, anytime in your planner. 3, you always have it with you. So like I mentioned, it syncs to your phone, you have it on your iPad, and if you forget your planner somewhere, you always have your phone with you. Number 4, you can share it really quickly if you needed to. So if you have coworkers that you need to send something to, it is super fast when you digital plan, and I show you that in our little demonstration later on in the video. 5, everything in your planner is searchable. If you use the search tool in GoodNotes, it will actually search everything in your planner, even your handwriting. 6, you do not have to carry 27 different colored pens with you when you plan. I know that a lot of people out there are like me and they like to color code their planner sometimes. Well, in GoodNotes, you just change the color of your pen. You don't need to have all these things with you when you plan. I'm more of a minimalist when it comes to planning. I'm not someone who necessarily decorates their planner with a ton of stickers so you can't see what you wrote. All you see is stickers. That's not me, but with GoodNotes, you can have both worlds and it's way easier, and all you have to carry around is your iPad or your phone. Are we on 7? It's not messy. It's just not messy. It's so clean, it's so easy, and it's so simple. 8, it is super easy to organize. You can organize it however you want. 9, you can take out pages that you don't need, and 10, you can add in pages that you do want. If you are not a teacher, I actually also sell a monthly planner, which is very similar to the digital teacher planner. It just doesn't have any of the teacher resources, so if you keep watching, you'll be able to see what the monthly planner looks like. It just doesn't have any of the teacher related things in there. I also have a $3 daily digital planner for you too. So if you wanted to try digital planning, if you really weren't sure if you would like it, or if you're just looking for a daily digital planner, that's in my Etsy for $3. All of these planners are in my Etsy shop for you. I do have them in TPT if you have like a TPT gift card that you might want to use, but they're cheaper for you on Etsy because of the profit margins. So everything on Teachers Pay Teachers is there, but it's adjusted for Teachers Pay Teachers profit margins. So it's a bit cheaper if you purchase through Etsy. So I am going to be talking about the teacher planner that I designed. I'm going to be showing you every single page, and we're going to actually do a planning demonstration at the end so you can kind of get a feel for what digital planning looks like, at least for me. So last year I actually released my very first digital planner, and it was floral themed with floral clip art. I was really proud of it, and I was also really into florals. I still am into florals. I love florals, but this year I just wanted something that was very neutral across the board. I love neutral, so this planner is neutral throughout. The neutral color scheme runs throughout the entire planner, and there's actually no clip art, so you can decorate it the way that you want to, and you can reuse it year after year and not get sick of it. So like I mentioned, I'm offering a digital teacher planner and a printable teacher planner, but if you purchase the digital teacher planner, I actually give you 41 bonus PDFs that are printables. So all of the teacher resources that are in the digital teacher planner, I give you those as PDFs in case you want to print them and stick them somewhere or do whatever with. So the biggest change from last year's planner to this year's planner is that this year's planner is actually undated, which means that you can use it forever. So last year you bought the planner and it was kind of just a one-use thing. It was dated, I had the dates on every page, I had the calendar filled out for you. This year, none of that is done for you. You can reuse it year after year. That was something you guys asked me to do, and to be honest, I really wasn't sure, but I ended up falling in love with this, so thanks. I think when I do the flip through, you'll be able to tell just how much work went into it. It's not something that I just threw together for you. It's not something that's like specific to a certain teacher. It looks very professional, very clean. It's actually the opposite of what I think of when I think of a primary teacher planner. Actually, I already had men purchase this planner too, so I think that's proof enough that across the board, no matter who you are, if you're a teacher, you'll be able to use this planner. So even though I'm showing you a little bit of digital planning in this video, I'm also uploading a GoodNotes tutorial at the same time, so you'll be able to get a full in-depth how to use GoodNotes. GoodNotes is the app that I personally use for my teacher planner. There are other apps like Notability, but to me, GoodNotes takes the cake, and that's what I use. That's what I give instructions for, and that's just kind of what I run with. The app does cost money to download, but when you download it, you just have to pay for it one time, and it will be on your phone, on your iPad, on all of your devices. And technically, the digital teacher planner is a PDF, so anything that can open PDFs can be used to edit this planner. But GoodNotes is probably the most user-friendly. I can't really guarantee what your experience will be like, especially on a computer. This is more intended to be a planner that's convenient for you and that you have with you at all times. But any program that opens PDFs can open this planner. Now let me go ahead and show you my planner again. I'm showing you the digital version, but every single thing is the exact same in the printable version. It just doesn't have the cute little digital planner and any of the tabs that I'm going to show you the functions of. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you guys think of it. So this is my iPad. It is a 6th generation, just basic iPad. It's not a Pro. A Pro is fantastic, but you don't need one. And this is just a normal iPad. The app we're going to be using is GoodNotes. It does cost money in the App Store. There are alternative apps you can use, but this is the one I am using. So I do have my planner already imported, but I do want to show you really quickly how to get it into GoodNotes. I do give you step-by-step instructions in your download, but I just wanted to show you here too. So my planner and all of my planner resources are actually saved to my iCloud Drive. So I'm going to tap New, Import, and it pulls up my iCloud Drive, but you can also change the locations here. If you wanted to do Google Drive, you just go up here and click Edit, and then you can turn on Google Drive from there, but I don't need that. So the first thing you want to do is import your cover. So let's say I want this cover. And the reason we create our cover first is because if we add the planner in, it would change the way it looks on our home screen. It would look a little different. So we're going to go into our cover, tap our thumbnails button, and we're going to import. And again, it pulls up my iCloud Drive, and you're going to go ahead and import the planner. So this planner is a pretty small file compared to my other planner. I tried to condense it for you guys, so it should only take a couple of seconds, maybe a minute to import into GoodNotes. Now that we have our planner imported, you get kind of a home base page for your planner, but this is the cover that shows on your documents. If you wanted to customize this, you could use the pen and write your name in here. I'm actually going to tap the image button, which does pull up my recent images, but I'm going to tap it one more time and tap insert from, and this is going to pull up my drive once again. And I did save a little PNG image of my name. So this is just our planner cover. It's not actually linked to anything in the planner. It's just here for this visual. Your actual planner is here. You can always cover this if you don't like it. You can just insert a photo and place something right on top if you wanted to. You could also go into the pen and you could personalize it just like that. I do have a GoodNotes tutorial that I'm uploading for you, but this is just showing you the planner. So let's start with the tabs. I have a school tab, a teacher tab, students, records, and a custom tab. This little star is a custom tab that I added just for you. On the right side, we have all of the months. It does run July to June, and this planner is completely undated. And then at the very bottom, we have some buttons. We have cover, stickers, meetings, notes, and lists. Now this teacher planner does have over 100 pages of content. I'll take you to the thumbnails really quickly and just kind of scroll all the way down and let you see. There are 106 pages in here. I tried to think of absolutely anything that you might need. So we're going to start with the school tab. So the first page is actually just a swipe away, but if you're at the cover, you can just tap school and it will take you to your yearly dashboard and your year at a glance. And you can use these pages however you want. If you want to use them to plan what units you're going to be doing, if you want to use them to put in meeting dates or your school calendar, you can totally do that as well. If you swipe over, you can see class schedule and alternate schedule. I tried to leave you plenty of room on both sides so you can add in any specific things that you need. And this alternate schedule is something that was really important for me because I always forgot on our early dismissal days what we needed, so that's here for you. If you swipe over, you get to the teacher tab. So I'm going to take you back to the cover just to show you what it would look like. So if you tap teacher, it's going to open up a spread of school contacts. So you have 2 pages here. And then if you swipe over, we have volunteer contacts and guardian contacts. And I really liked that these two were side by side. Another swipe will take you to contact log and behavior tracker. This was something that I liked for certain occasions, but of course you don't have to use it. That being said, if you wanted to delete a page, you could delete any page in this teacher planner as long as it wasn't linked to a button or a tab. So if I tap the teacher tab, it's going to take me back to school contacts. You don't want to delete this page, but you could absolutely delete the contact log and move that to the trash and it won't affect the planner. Now that also means you can duplicate any page you want. So let's say that you love this contact log, but you ran out of space. All you would have to do is go back up to the thumbnails and then you would just duplicate your page and you would have a whole brand new one. The next page is my favorite page. It is professional development. This is actually my planner, so I've kind of logged some of my professional development already. This is definitely a page that I would have to go in and duplicate, but this is probably like my favorite page in the planner. Next up we have account information. I did have my account information in here and it was super helpful because your GoodNotes will actually link to your phone. So you can pull it up anytime, anywhere, and I'm always forgetting my accounts. So that's in here. And it is kind of buried in the teacher tab, so it's not easy to find. However, if you were in your planner and you wanted privacy really quickly, all you would have to do is tap the cover, or really any other tab, and it would take you to a different screen. So that's really helpful. The next tab we have is the Students tab. So I have a space in here for student birthdays and student roster. I do have 30 spots here, but again, if that's not enough, you could always just duplicate the page. And that's everything that's in the Students tab. If you swipe, it'll actually take you to your months because I put the records in the back. So I'll show you really quickly what the records looks like. This is something that came in handy for me last year all the time, and if you buy this digital teacher planner, I actually give you printable versions of a lot of the pages in here, so you'll actually get this as a printable PDF as well. Not the entire planner, but some of these key resource pages you will have. So there's plenty of room here on both sides, but again, if you needed another page, all you would have to do is tap that little arrow and press duplicate. Our next tab up here is our custom tab. So this just takes you to a page that I bookmarked for you. You could put anything in here that you think you would need to reference. If there's some resource that your school gives you that's important to have on hand, you could always just go up here and insert that image right in, or you could use this as a landing page, really whatever you wanted. You have a custom tab to access it. The next thing I want to talk about are the buttons along the bottom. So we've already talked about the cover, but I included a page in the back of the planner for stickers. This is actually the very last 2 pages of the planner. If you tap your thumbnails, you can see that this page is the page we're currently on, and then I have another sticker page right here that actually has the palette. So you can import any of the colors, and I'm going to show you that. Actually, I'll show you right now. So if you tap up here and you go to your pen, I've already imported some of my colors, but all you would have to do is press edit, add color, and then you would type in that hex number that's right there. And then you could match your pen colors to the planner, which I thought was fantastic. These are stickers. They don't come with the planner. I actually inserted them myself. I will be selling stickers soon. This is kind of a sneak peek to the stickers. So on your very last page, you have plenty of room for stickers, and you can also duplicate these pages if you need them. In your planner file, I show you how to import stickers, but it's the same thing as importing an image. You're just importing any image or any PNG that you want, so you can keep stickers that you use most of the time here for easy access in your planner. The next button is a meetings button, and I do love the meetings because I used to just keep them in the notes section. But this year I decided to add a meetings button so that when you go to a meeting, you can just quickly pull this up, and I do have 2 different templates for you to use. So again, duplicate pages as needed, but these are the 2 templates that I provide. And then of course we have our notes section, which just has lined paper. I have space up here to write maybe the topic you're writing on. I have blank paper behind it, and then you get to our stickers. The last button is the lists. And I love the lists. I use them all the time, but I actually added something new this year. It's this weekly planning page. So you could use this for small groups if you wanted. You could use this as like a personal planner if you wanted to. Really, there's so many options for you. And then if you swipe, you get to our list templates. So these are really handy and super, super convenient. You just go in, write the title, start listing things. You could add more pages, you could delete your lists, you could highlight them when you're done. I'm constantly making lists at home or at school, so this is a page that I definitely use super, super often. You could even go in, and if you press this shapes tool, you can add squares, that was rough, or circles, so you can create your own checklists, or you can just put your pen size to the largest size and create little bullets. But there's definitely tons of uses for the lists button, so that's why it has its own button. Now we're back to our cover. I just wanted to mention really quickly, because I forgot to, that this is a blank page for you to use for absolutely whatever you want. So you could add family photos to this page if you wanted to, you could add school information if you wanted to, anything you needed to, you could add to this little page here. And I thought that was just like a nice little way to personalize it, I guess. So now let's get into our monthly plan. So again, it starts in July. And this first page is actually going to take you to your monthly dashboard. So you can use this page for absolutely anything you want. One thing I made sure in this planner was that you had plenty of space to plan and write, and everything had a home, and if it didn't have a home, I created a space for you to make a home for it. So this is the monthly dashboard. Here's an example of one that I created. So I kind of used this as a planning, and again, this is just a mock-up, it's not real. I used this for standards, goals, personal to-dos. I inserted a cute little calendar on this page that I made, and then this I used for notes. If you swipe over, you get to your calendar page, and this is a page that I refer back to all the time. So I kind of filled this in as an example. It is a bit different than my calendar page from last year. I kind of left more blank space for you, and it is also completely undated. So as you can see in these boxes, I've written in the dates for August, and you have to do that on every single month. But the benefit is you can reuse this planner as many times as you want, or for as many different purposes as you want. So having it undated was really a big plus to me. Here's an example of what it looks like without any writing, but I am going to take you back to this one just so you can kind of see how I've used it. So I give you a note section, important, dashboard, upcoming. I used this little space to write in a quote, and I created all of these little events. And if you notice down at the bottom, you have even more space for notes. So every single inch of this planner is usable and efficient. I will show you really quickly how I created these little flags. You could also insert stickers if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna zoom in and show you really quickly. I'm gonna tap the pen so that I can write, and I'm gonna change the size of my pen. I don't really know what size I need. And I'm gonna hit the shapes button, and I'm just gonna draw a rough outline of what I need, and it will add it in for you. So for these, I was a little bit more careful, and I kind of did the individual lines, and it connects everything. So it's really, really nice. You could add in circles if you wanted to, you could add in squares, you get the point. So that's how I created those. If you swipe, you get to your weekly planning page. I'm gonna show you what it looks like empty. I'm gonna swipe over, I've already did that one. Sometimes it takes a second to come up, but this is the empty page. I've got, once again, space for you to do everything, space for you to put the days here. You could put your subjects here. I took out the lines in case you needed a little bit more space to write. I also added in an extra subject box. So last year's planner had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes, and this year's planner has 6 subject boxes that you can use. That was something that you guys really, really wanted, so I added that in. And of course we have our important, dashboard, and upcoming. So again, here is just an example of how I filled it out. I'm actually gonna go ahead and show you how I would plan in this digital planner. I do have Plan With Me's in part of my vlogs. I don't have a dedicated Plan With Me video that's not guided reading, but it's the same process, just digital. So I wanna show you how easy and how efficient it can be to plan digitally. So let's pretend we're going into a brand new week. This is kind of how I organized my categories: read aloud, shared reading, small groups writing, science, math. When I only had 5 categories here, I just did writing / science because they were kind of combined. All right, let me show you an example of what digital planning might look like for me. Of course, if you're actually sitting out and planning, it will take a little bit more moving around and figuring out, but this is just all for example. You can use your iPad in portrait mode, or you can use it in landscape mode, so really it's whatever you prefer. All right, let's get started planning for our week. So the first thing I want to mention is in your iPad, you can actually go dual screen. So if you needed to pull your standards up to plan there, or maybe you have team plans somewhere, you can pull that up right beside your planner and you could still use it. So you can kind of adjust how much space is where. The other thing you can do that's really neat, let me get rid of that, is you can pull up another page of your planner while you're planning. So I had that monthly dashboard that I put my standards in for this video. If you tap the arrow on that page and you tap open a new window, let me close out of this. Here's our planner and here's our monthly dashboard. So that's a really cool feature. I'm not gonna be using that right now, but I just wanted you to know that it did exist. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is put in the days of the week. And I'm actually gonna change my pen colors. I like writing in this charcoal color, and then I wanna have this pink color up in my presets, and then a black. The pen thickness I like for my planner and my writing is usually 0.35, and I'm gonna fill in these dates. So we're just gonna pretend. So this would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And something that I like to do is go into my highlighter, and let's adjust the size. And I like to highlight Monday. I don't know why, I just always love to know Monday. I don't know, that's just a weird thing that I like. The next thing that you can do is if you have any important notes for the week or things that you need to write out before you start planning, you can do that here or in the notes section. So for example, let's go back to our pen and we'll put this in pink. And I'm just gonna put my specials rotation for the week. Normally I have my iPad in a case and it's easier to hold. Specials rotation, and we're just gonna pretend that this is our specials. So I use this main part of the planner for lesson planning, of course, but there is this little note section down at the bottom. So I like to put things that I'm doing after school down here. So let's write, for example, it's so hard for me to write like this. And then let's say that I know on Wednesday I need to turn in packets. We're pretending this is the beginning of the year, right? So do. And then on Friday, which is the 14th, which is actually me and my husband's dating anniversary, I'm going to write anniversary dinner at 5:30. So now I have a general idea of what my week looks like. Another thing that I would usually know before I went into planning were sight words. So once again, you can use any space you want. If you're a primary teacher, maybe you also like to write the sight words for the week in your planner, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put them right here. And a tip I have for you is if you can't write straight, one thing you can do is write down here on top of a line, and then you know your writing is straight, and you can move it wherever you want to using the lasso tool. And again, I have a full how to use GoodNotes tutorial that's coming for you. This is just showing you how I plan digitally. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put in our sight words, and our fake sight words for the week are, okay, my iPad was sliding, I had to put it in the case. But these are the sight words. Again, that's very messy, but you can make it cleaner. And then I'm gonna go into this little shapes tool, and I'm just gonna draw a line and kind of separate it from any other notes that I would want to write down. So the next thing that I would do is probably just go in and start planning for my week. So I'm gonna start over here. And my first thing that I wanna write down in black, and I'm gonna use a 0.3 pen. I'm gonna make sure I'm on my pen tool, and I'm gonna write read aloud. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through and fill out all of my subjects. Here are my subjects, for example, and again, I like to take this loop tool and kind of move things. That's something you can't do when you're actually writing in your planner, so if you're not very good at estimating space, I got you. Now for me, the way that I usually like to plan is kind of going across per subject. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill out all of my read alouds for the week. I'm gonna go actually into my shapes tool and kind of create a little box for my read alouds. That way they are separate from the other things that I'm gonna be writing. So I'm gonna go in and draw a box as straight as I can. That box is a little bit big, but it's exactly what I need. So I'm just going to resize it, and that looks good. And I know I'm gonna be needing this box for other spaces in my planner, so I'm actually going to copy it and paste it all the way across my weeks. And if you are using basically the same template from week to week, something you can do is copy a majority of your page from the previous week, and you can paste it into the next week and kind of use that same little template. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna put my read alouds for the week. Let's go in with our pink color and put them in. All right, so there are all of my read alouds for the week. And usually I would write down what we were doing for each read aloud. This is just an example, so I'm just going to put in some standards. So I'm gonna switch my pen color back to this charcoal color. And I'm gonna put my pen on the biggest setting and kind of make a bullet point. And let's say our standard that we're working on, let's get this to 0.35 again. Let's say our standard is ask and answer questions. If we're doing the same thing the next day, copy, paste, bam, it's there. Let's say we're doing that on Wednesday as well, but we're also comparing and contrasting. Okay, we're working on the same skill on Thursday. I accidentally got that in there, so I'm gonna cut it out, and I'll just paste that in there for Friday too. Okay, now for shared literacy. I want this box back, so I'm actually gonna copy this and paste it for our shared reading, but I'm gonna go in and erase the words, and we're gonna use the text. What should Danny do? This is one of my favorite books. I love it so much, and so do my kids. And I know I'm gonna be reading the same book all week. So what I'm gonna do is draw an arrow to extend it. That way I don't have to write the same thing over and over again. But since this is just like a real planner, I'm actually gonna duplicate this box. And I'm gonna put it here. And now I'm gonna create arrows. So again, I'm gonna use the shapes tool, and let's go into our black. And all you have to do is draw kind of like a rough line and then your little arrow tip, and it creates an arrow for you. And it looks really, really nice, better than I could do in person. So we have our read aloud for the week, and this is where I usually like to write our routine. And actually, normally these boxes would be a little bit thinner. So let's say we're just doing our normal routine. We're gonna start by doing rhyme magic, which is something I absolutely love doing in my classroom. I've talked about this before. Let's go into grammar next. Let's say I'm teaching nouns, and we're gonna do some sight words, and I have my sight words to reference on my page already. And then we're gonna do our mentor sentence. Perfect. So this same routine is gonna be used throughout the week. Maybe only a couple of things might change. So I'm gonna copy that and paste it. Let's say on Wednesday, we actually work on verbs. So this copy and paste aspect is actually really, really efficient on digital planning, and it's part of the reason that I love it. All right, and then we have Friday, and let's say that we are doing word check in my classroom is just kind of like a spelling test, but let's just say we're doing a word check game on Friday. So you can see that I usually have to resize my writing. So that's what we look like. For small groups, I am just going to put the times in the group. Whenever I'm actually teaching, sometimes I do switch up when I teach which group. So whenever I'm planning for the week, I make sure I note that in my planner. Also, whenever I taught, usually on Monday, it took me longer to get through things because I'm introducing new skills. So I only got to 2 groups on Monday. So we're just gonna pretend like it's that same old deal. And we're gonna say I get to start groups at 10:15. They're about 15 minutes, so at 10:30 I'll do this group, and I'll show you my group scheduling in just a second. And you could use this little window button, but for me it gets in the way a lot of the time, so let me make it smaller. You can adjust the size like this. But I find it annoying a lot of the time, so I usually just zoom in to wherever I want to be. I also could have saved even more time by copying the word group on every page and then just writing the number. There's all sorts of things you can do when you plan digitally to save time. Also, when I'm writing my real plans, I write a lot neater, but we're just trying to get this done. So this is what my small group schedule looks like for this week. Let's move on to writing. So for writing, let's say we have a text that we're using. I'm gonna copy and paste. Oop, it got the arrows too. That's actually, okay, we're gonna say we use that for the rest of the week. Why not? But we're not using, what should Danny do for writing? Sorry, Danny. Do unto otters. This is a text that I read to my kids at the beginning of the year, and then we did like an otter activity. But let's say we're actually teaching like the writing process. So we'll say on Monday we brainstorm as a class, and sometimes I like to do these little cloud bubbles to kind of emphasize things. They're not always perfect, but another thing you could do is just change the color of your text, which actually you could do very quickly by just highlighting your text, tapping it, and hitting color, and you can change the color. I'm just gonna keep it like that, but I am gonna make this a bit smaller. So we are brainstorming, and then let's create an ideas anchor chart together. Perfect. Now on Tuesday, let's go ahead and throw in a video. Again, you can make that look way cuter. And then we're gonna work on our opening sentence, and then a first, and then a next. This is just the way that I kind of did writing last year with my kids, but whatever way you do writing, you would put that in here. Then we're gonna work on a then sentence, last, and our closing sentence. And I'm gonna go back to the shapes tool just to create some lines that don't look absolutely crazy. And then let's say on Thursday, we work on, and we're gonna share. So I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. And that's just an example of what that might look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of this because you kind of get it at this point. Okay, so I finished fake planning for the week. If you guys want me to do actual digital plan with me, please let me know. I would absolutely be happy to once we are in the school year and I'm hired and I have a job. But this is what it might look like. On this side is where I like to keep anything I have to do for the week. So let's say I finish my plans and I'm like, okay, now I know what I need to prep and what I need to copy. I'm just going to go ahead and start making a list. Something I like to do is actually go into my shapes tool right here, and then I'm going to draw, that was really bad, but it made it pretty. I'm gonna draw a square, and I'm kind of using this as a little checkbox because I like to check things off. But another option you have, so let's say I wanted to do, let's say you just wanted to make your to-do list. Something that I like to do is go into my highlighter, and you can highlight things when they're done, or you can highlight things that you don't get to. But for this example, and I just undid that by tapping twice with 2 fingers, I'm going to bring that checkbox back, and I'm gonna make a few more of them. Let's say that I have some cards that I need to print, and I need to make copies for our fake writing lessons that we made. And oh, I need to plan for the escape room. So if you notice your list falling into categories, the beautiful thing about digital planning is that you can move them and you can kind of create little subheadings. Or if you know every week you have certain things that you need to copy and certain things that you need to prep, you can go in. I'm going to use a different color and I'm going to say to prep, to copy, and then let's say I have a couple more things just to do all my morning messages when I make my weekly PowerPoint, and I usually create my newsletter like the week before the upcoming week. This upcoming spot you can use for anything that's coming up. Oops, I was writing what I was saying. All right, open house is on the 18th, y'all. And then throughout the week, if there's something that comes up that you need to write in your planner that is super, super important, you could put it in here. So we know we need to get that money turned in by Friday. Another thing you can do is put anything you need in your notes section. So usually when I'm teaching whole group, I have my planner out kind of next to me to kind of glance at. So let's say I'm teaching and I notice group 2 really needs to review blends. When I'm done teaching, I can just say review blends for group 2. And let's say I actually want that to be straight. Bam. And let's say that's really important. Don't want to forget it. You can highlight it. You can also highlight our staff meeting as well. So this is basically what a layout looks like for me planning. If you've seen my blogs before, then you know this is just how I like to plan. But digital planning is super, super flexible. I tried to show you a few things in here, but I do have that GoodNotes tutorial coming for you to kind of give you an in-depth explanation. But for the most part, planning is going to be super, super simple, super, super easy. The other super cool thing about digital planning is if you've already filled in your planner, but then you have to add something, you have the flexibility to do that. So let's say I actually have intervention groups starting this Monday. I can go in and wow, it looks like I have no space. I can just take my lasso tool and I can just resize it and make it a little bit smaller. I can move it over, and then that way I have space to add whatever I need to add. So I can say intervention starts, and I can fix this and make it a little bit bigger if I need to. But that's one of the things that I absolutely love, because you cannot do that on pen and paper unless you're using a pencil, but then it gets messy. And most of the time when I planned using paper, I used pen anyway. They do have erasable pens though, but if you've ever left your planner in your hot car, it erases it. So that's just something really neat that I like. Another super cool thing I want to just show you about the planner is, let's say you're typing up meetings, and let's just do some examples. Okay, we have some Taylor Swift lyrics in here just as an example, but if you actually use your lasso tool and kind of circle around them, tap it and press convert, it will convert it to text. So if someone's like, hey, can you send me the meeting notes? You can say, yeah, absolutely, I got you. And then you can just go ahead and send them to anybody you know. Another thing that you can do if you wanted to send them like your whole page is you could draw a rough little outline using your lasso tool. And then you just tap it, press take screenshot, bam, your meeting notes are there. If you want to print them, bam, just go down here, select print, and you can print them too. So those are just some benefits to using a digital teacher planner. You can export your entire planner. You can export certain pages as PDFs. You can mirror it if you needed to, if you're in a meeting. There's unlimited things that you can do. I hope you enjoy digital planning. If this planner is one that you would like to try, it is in my Etsy shop. I also want to show you really quickly, this is what happens if you don't make your cover first. But this is what the monthly planner looks like. So if you want just a very basic planner, let's say you want more of a life planner. If you're this far into the video, I assume you want a teacher planner. But this has everything that the teacher planner has without any of the teacher resources. So you still have all your planning in your months, but there's not anything in there for teachers. There's not a meetings, there's none of that. So you have your yearly, and then it goes straight into your months. I did create this weekly tab separate up here, and then I have the lists tab there for you. So this would function more like just a day-to-day planner. So let's say you're in July and you're like, okay, this is my schedule. Here's what I'm gonna be doing this week, but for dinner this week, I want to put that here. I want to put my workouts for the week here. You kind of have that flexibility. You still have a custom page. You still have your cover, your stickers. So it's just a little bit different. It doesn't have any of the teacher resources in there, but that is the monthly digital planner. And then I also have a daily digital planner. And this is just an example of what it looks like. So if you go to the cover, you can see it has this Make It Happen cover. And then if you swipe, you are in your daily planning. So you would kind of fill out, let me go ahead and clear this page so you can see what that looks like. You would fill it out with the day, anything you had to do. You can use this box down here for absolutely whatever you'd like. You have your to-do list, your important, you can stick some stickers in there, and then you have notes and a blank page and your custom tab to use as well. So this one's only $3 in my store. That was the planner. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you digitally plan, if you're interested in that. Again, I do have a GoodNotes tutorial that will probably help you out. The digital planner, the printable planner, the monthly planner, and the daily planner that's only $3 are all available in my Etsy for you. And because you stayed to this point in the video, I'm gonna give you a code for 15% off that you can use all the way through till the end of August for 15% off everything in my Etsy store. For staying through to the very end of this video, use the code on screen for 15% off anything. That includes my t-shirts and includes all of my planners. Everything is so unknown right now. Trust me, I am right there with you. I'm still job searching. It's the end of July. I am about to lose my mind, but I hope that this planner brings some joy, maybe some structure, organization, some happiness into your life, and I hope that it helps you have an amazing year because you deserve it.